Why was Duryodhana so adamant about waging the Kurukshetra war? Sanjaya Uvacha Drushtva tu Pandavanīkam Vyūdam Duryodhanastada Acharyamupasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravīt. The meaning of the shloka is Sanjaya says, on observing the Pandava army arranged in a military formation, King Duryodhana approached his teacher Dronacharya and spoke these words. Now, we are at the Kurukshetra war ground. On one side, we have the Kaurava army of 11 Akshauni strength, and the other side we have the Pandava army of 7 Akshauni strength. Let us discuss the psychology of Duryodhana, whose adamant attitude led to the Kurukshetra war. The roots of this adamant behavior took place much before, during his childhood itself. Duryodhana's original name was Suyodhana, meaning pleasure to combat with or a good warrior. His nickname was Duryodhana as he was considered difficult to combat with. The nickname stayed forever. Dhritarashtra was coronated as a king after his younger brother Pandu abdicated or gave up the throne. Dhritarashtra was incredibly happy to be in power. Bhishma Pitamaha and Vidura took good care of the administration and things were going happily for Dhritarashtra and family. When the Pandavas returned back to the kingdom from the forest after Pandu and Madri's demise, there was a discussion about who has to be the crown prince or successor of Dhritarashtra. Bhishma, Dronacharya and Vidura called for a meeting to designate the next king. Both the options, Yudhishthira and Duryodhana, were discussed. Gandhari and Shakuni voted for Duryodhana. Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya and Vidura preferred Yudhishthira. The power circle decided upon crowning Yudhishthira and not Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra and his beloved son could not accept or digest the fact, but were compelled to keep quiet with no way to go against the authoritative Bhishma, Vidura, Drona and Kripacharya. Genetically, Duryodhana inherited the greed syndrome from his father Dhritarashtra, and his uncle Shakuni took all care to feed Duryodhana's greed and not to allow him to accept anything less than everything. The signs of uncontrolled greed in Duryodhana were self-centered behavior, me, always with little regard for others' feelings. He was envious too, a strong desire for possessions of others, lack of empathy, unconcerned about others' feelings, never took personal responsibility for his unreasonable behavior, never satisfied with anything, expert in manipulation, egoistic, can compromise on moral values and ethics to achieve personal goals. There is a serious flaw in parenting of Duryodhana. He inherited greed from his father and was guided wrongly by mastermind Shakuni. Gandhari believed that the upbringing of her sons was safe under the wings of her brother Shakuni, who loved her to the moon and back. There is more to the story of Duryodhana. Let us continue in the next episode. He who is not contented with what he has would not be contented with what he would like to have. Question: what is the mental state of Duryodhana just before the start of Kurukshetra war? Duryodhana's resolute to wage a war on the Pandavas was because of his intense state of mind, which is very well described in the following shloka. When Sri Krishna tried to persuade Duryodhana not to push things too hard and declare a war, Duryodhana said, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti, केनापि देवेन हृदि स्थितेन यथा नियुक्तोऽस्मि तथा करोमि. Garga Samhita. The meaning goes like this: I know what is dharma, right from the wrong, but I am not inclined to it. I know what is adharma, unrighteous or unethical, but I can't stop doing it. There is an inner force which drives me to act in a certain way, which happens to be adharma. I am helpless in the hands of my desire, and I cannot help myself from doing adharma. Many of us are caught in similar situations in life. We know right from the wrong, but we are compelled to make compromises for a multitude of reasons. We might not be doing blunders as grave as Duryodhana, but we do things which are driven by our desires, or we do things to please someone we love and can never displease. Today's question is, what is the mental state of Duryodhana just before the start of Kurukshetra war? Imagine the war is just about to begin. Both the armies are arranged in a military formation. Duryodhana takes a visual assessment of the forces arrayed, and his mind raises a doubt. How easy or how difficult is it to win? Have I underestimated my opponent? With such thoughts in mind, Duryodhana approached his teacher Dronacharya after gauging the military formation of the Pandava army. His body language suggests that Duryodhana is slightly unnerved and has approached his teacher for assurance. He wants to seek affirmation that the Kaurava army is better equipped than the Pandava army to win the battle. There is an interesting leadership lesson here. Duryodhana never bothered about the importance of a shared vision when he declared the war. It was Duryodhana's burning desire for power, authority, and undivided control over the vast Kuru kingdom. This desire created the difficult situation for the entire country. At that crucial moment of war, a small doubt took birth in his mind as he glanced at his own army. Are my people with me? Do they share my vision? He was aware that he had deviated from dharma, and his mind caught him at the right moment. As he looked at the Pandava army, he knew they came with a strong resolute. They were strong in a physical sense, and they had Sri Krishna on their side. You cannot negotiate with people who say what's mine is mine and what's yours is negotiable, says John F. Kennedy. Question: why did Dronacharya agree to combat against his favorite student Arjuna? Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. The shloka, when understood in a word-to-word translation, gives us the Sthula Tattva or broad meaning, which is as follows. Duryodhana said, "Respected teacher, look at the mighty army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly organized to wage a battle by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada." The Sthula Tattva does not communicate the complete essence of the intended message or does not help in reading between the lines. We need to interpret the shloka using Sukshma Tattva or subtle meaning. We need to get to the meaning with reference to context. The unspoken words in the shloka, heard loud and clear by Dronacharya, or reading between the lines, are: O great teacher Dronacharya, I am aware of your reluctance to combat with your favorite student Arjuna and aware that you have unwillingly agreed to combat against the Pandavas. I understand that you are highly grateful to grandfather Bhishma, who employed you as a royal teacher and paid you a good salary, due to which you could overcome dire poverty and could take good care of your son Ashwatthama. I am aware that you are truly loyal to the Kuru throne and will fight to the last breath to help me win this war. I request you to carefully observe the mighty army of the Pandavas and also notice that your enemy's son Drishtadyumna, brother of Draupadi, has skillfully arranged the army to give us a tough fight. I have never understood your foolishness in accepting Drishtadyumna as a disciple and teaching him the art of combat when you were well aware that he is born to kill you. Now, you need to fight with all your might to mitigate your enemy Drupada and his son Drishtadyumna and help me drive away these absurd and illogical cousins of mine who don't understand the simple fact that I am not willing to give them any land, even equal to the tip of a needle. So please disregard the fact that Pandavas are your disciples and please be aware of the fact that you must fight to safeguard your own life and the Kuru kingdom for the sake of the prosperity of my friend and your son Ashwatthama. Duryodhana is mocking at his teacher for having trained Drishtadyumna and he is speaking highly of the Pandava army, even though Kaurava army is a considerably larger one than the Pandava army. Duryodhana feels insecure and unsafe, even though his army is being led by Bhishma in consultation with Bahlika, Bhishma's uncle and the oldest man in the war. Bahlika was Shantanu's brother and king of Bahlika kingdom. Insecurity is independent of wealth and power a person holds. Insecurity and fear are caused due to violation of dharma. And when our inner mind reprimands us, there comes insecurity. Duryodhana knew he was unjust. He knew he was wrong. He knew he was going against the will of all the elders in the family. We will discuss this in further episodes. I would like to make a special mention of our Indian police force. It makes a lot of sense to thank them and express our gratitude at this juncture. Many a times, the position of the police force is like that of Bhishma, Drona and Kripacharya. They know what is right and what is wrong, yet they are bound to follow orders and stick to the guidelines of jurisprudence. Question: why was Duryodhana praising Arjuna and Bhima just before the Kurukshetra war? Atra shura maheshwasa Bhimarjuna samayudhi Yuyudhano viratascha Drupadascha maharatah. The meaning is, here are brave heroes and mighty archers equivalent to Bhima and Arjuna, such as Yuyudhana, Virata and Drupada, the mighty chariot warrior. Answering today's question regarding Duryodhana praising his opponents just before the war, Duryodhana is highly intelligent and understands his teacher's attitude and behavior very well. Duryodhana continues to instigate Dronacharya by praising the warriors on the side of Pandavas. Appreciation and praise have a dark side too. When used as a manipulative tool, they can successfully fulfill the hidden agenda of the manipulator. Duryodhana showers calculated compliments on the Pandava army as a deliberate attempt to incite and provoke Dronacharya to that extent that he will be angered enough and combat the Pandava army for sure. Duryodhana is unethical, ruthless, aggressive, and above all, cunningly intelligent. He's trying his best to exploit the emotional side of Dronacharya by using praise as a weapon. Duryodhana mentions 5 names in this shloka: Bhima, Arjuna, Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada, who is the Maharatha. Bhima and Arjuna are warriors of exceedingly high caliber. I'll discuss about their genius, brilliance, and skill in further episodes. Yuyudhana, also called Satyaki, is a powerful Yadava warrior belonging to the dynasty of Lord Krishna. He was a student of Dronacharya along with Arjuna. He strongly and passionately favored the Pandavas over the Kauravas. Yuyudhana accompanied Sri Krishna as an emissary of peace, which was ridiculed and turned down by the sons of Dhritarashtra. Yuyudhana breaks the bow of Drona 101 times in the war and amazes his guru with his skill of archery. Virata, the king of Matsya kingdom, was a foe of Hastinapura. He was a very generous and pious ruler. The Pandavas spent their 13th year of incognito exile at the service of King Virata in the guise of humble servants. Uttara, King Virata's daughter, was given in marriage to Arjuna's son Abhimanyu. Drupada was the king of Panchala. He was a fellow classmate and childhood friend of Dronacharya, father of Shikandi, Drishtadyumna and Draupadi, father-in-law to the Pandavas. Drupada and Drona carried grudges against each other. Drupada was a Maharatha, a great chariot warrior. I'll explain the term Maharatha in one of the future episodes. Coming back to the question, Duryodhana is praising his opponents in such a manner that he intends to eliminate any probability of losing the war owing to the special bond Dronacharya has with Arjuna. Even as a student, Arjuna would not budge from being in the company of Dronacharya, even when all his mates took a break or were engaged in play. An exceptional student like Arjuna can come into existence when both the teacher and student are absorbed into the process of creating a learning experience. The irony is, Duryodhana has spent an equal amount of time as a student of Drona, but he does not have reverence and devotion towards his teachers. There could be animosity between a student and a teacher can be understood with the example of Drona and Duryodhana. Mutual trust, equity, and respect are essential in a student-teacher relationship to create a genuine learning and developmental collaboration. I would like to dedicate this episode to all those teachers who nurture and motivate young minds to think beyond boundaries, beyond limitations, and consider themselves as global citizens. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैभ्यश्च नरपुङ्गवा. The meaning of the shloka is Drishtaketu, Chekitana, the brave king of Kashi, Purujit, Kuntibhoja and Shaibhya, the best among men. This shloka is a continuation of shloka 4, where Duryodhana is making a sustained effort to incite Drona to fight aggressively against the mighty army of Pandavas. Duryodhana is choosing the names of the warriors carefully to provoke a reaction from Drona, since he is nervous and anxious at the sight of the valiant kings supporting the Pandavas. Drishtaketu was Shishupala's son. Shishupala was killed by Sri Krishna. Karenumati, Drishtaketu's sister, was married to Nakula. Chekitana was Drishtaketu's son. He brought one whole Akshauni of military strength to the Pandavas. Chekitana slaughtered many soldiers on the Kaurava side throughout the war and defeated great Kaurava warriors such as Kripacharya. On the 18th day of the war, Duryodhana killed Chekitana. Duryodhana mentions the valiant king of Kashi. King Abhibhu with his two sons named Prakant and Vibhu led the Kashi army in the war. Dhritarashtra's mother and Pandu's mother belonged to Kashi and were daughters of King Dharmambara, who ruled Kashi during that period. Kuntibhoja, a valiant Yadava king, was Kunti's foster father and grandfather of Pandavas. Purujit was Kuntibhoja's son, Kunti's brother and maternal uncle of Pandavas. The last name mentioned in the shloka is King Shaibhya or Shibi, father-in-law of Yudhishthira. He was very well known for his generosity and character. When we look at the profiles and their accomplishments of kings who participated in the Kurukshetra war, it is but natural to think, how could so many wise, judicious, intelligent, rational, knowledgeable, pious, kind-hearted and well-informed people decide to take part in the deadly Kurukshetra war? Conflict has been an integral part of history, and man has seen more years of war than peace since time immemorial. Wars and violence can never solve any problems, but for sure can create many more problems. War does not determine who is right, only who is left, says Bertrand Russell. Thank you for watching. Meet you soon.